Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Oh, why guys? Oh. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So today we're doing a story time. This is the first time I'm doing one of these on my channel, but I think it's time. You know, since we do lifestyle things, we can't always be up and down, and COVID restrictions are very real, so I'd rather not be gallivanting up and down. So I decided let's mix things up a bit and do a story time. So today I'm going to tell you guys about the time I moved to Egypt. Yeah, very random country. I never would have seen myself living in Egypt, applying for a job in Egypt, but it happened. So hope you guys enjoy this and let's get into it. So for those of you who know me, I don't know, so actually yeah, it depends on which time frame you knew me from, but yes, in 2014, yes, July 2014, I moved to Cairo, Egypt, thinking I was going on a 3-month internship at this DFI called African Bank. I applied for an internship there like when I was still doing my master's in 2012, and they never responded. And then from nowhere, in July, no, it was in June, like June of 2014, I just come back from the UK. It had been a rough time because I lost my grandmother like within like a week of me moving back, so I had just lost myself. So moving to Cairo was a welcome like change because it was very drastic and very random, because I thought, I need a break, I need a fresh start, and it's something good for my CV. Like, we're all struggling to get great things for our CV, right? And at that time the plan had been I do this 3-month internship, and then in September of 2014 I start up my master's in Liverpool. Now, you know, I'm a planner, so I'm very much, I'm going to be doing this, and then this, and then this. That was the year that God showed me that you are here. Me, God, I am here. And I decide what happens. Yeah. Within about a month of me moving to Cairo, I knew that it's not a 3-month thing. It's gonna be a long-term thing. I think that's the first time I felt fully capable at a job. Like, have you ever gone into a place that you didn't know existed? Like, honestly, African Bank, I knew it because one of the guys that was working there is a good friend of my dad's, and he was like, oh, you'd be perfect for this job. Okay, this man knew me from like high school, and I was like, very few people can see me and say, oh, you're perfect for this job. Everyone says that. So I was like, this is fun. Now bear in mind, at that point African Bank had about 150 employees in total in the Cairo office. There are 3 offices, one in Cairo, one in Nigeria, and one in Zimbabwe. At the time, that's what they were like. But Cairo is the head office. In the business development department, which is the one I was part of, there were only 5 women. The rest were men. I also happened to be the only person, no, me and Gladys, the other intern, we were the only people under 30, actually not 35, in the bank. So it was rather jarring because everybody else was so much more grown up than us. They were married with kids. And me and Gladys were like, ooh, we just finished uni and we're excited, to enter the world and be adults. It was very strange, but I adjusted to it. It was very similar to working with my dad for me, because I had worked with my dad the whole time I was at university. So easing into the corporate world wasn't too hard. So I thought. Now, African Bank only deals with high net worth individuals. So you hear this and you think, they're rich people. I discovered rich people when I worked at this bank. People who throw away $1,000 like the way we throw away $10. I was just like, I'm broke. Like, wow. I needed to like rethink my dreams and goals because people in here are making money. But I guess that's the life of banking and investment banking and DFIs. They work with countries. Afreximbank funds countries. They don't fund people. So it makes sense that the people that they're dealing with are people who are at that level. So it took me a while to adjust. Luckily for me, I worked in the advisory department, which is very in-house legal for people who don't know. So it was a nice way for me to ease in. I didn't have to deal with a lot of money. For us, we were doing more of the structuring of the transactions and the contracts, working together with legal. So that was a very comfortable place for me. I really like doing documents, like contracts, and finding loopholes. That's my thing. Like, sit me down with the document, and that was great. I also then learned structuring deals, which meant you learned how the transaction was going to flow, how the money was going to flow, which corporate structures, which governance structures you're going to need for a transaction to work. Because a lot of the times our transactions were with multiple countries or multiple jurisdictions. So it means you're going to have to do a lot of legal gymnastics with your contracts, because some people want their contracts to have English governing law, some of them want to have French governing law, which means you're interacting with a whole different type of law. But it was the one time that I really flourished, right? However, it was the one time that I fully learned about very misogynistic, very patriarchal systems, very male-dominant systems in general. The bank was very male-dominated, so you had to deal with a lot of inappropriate jokes, a lot of things, basically. And now the thing is, guys being guys, they say guys are guys. I'm a tomboy. I grew up hanging out with guys more than I know with girls. It's true, men never grow up. Like, they're still the same, whether they're 40, 60, 20, 10. They really are the same thing. However, it becomes very difficult when that man is your boss or as a colleague and you have to set boundaries. Because that same man has a wife, has kids, and you really want the lines to not be blurred. I had to learn how to assert myself in a way that I didn't think was necessary. But there are people who will push your boundaries. There are people who get over familiar just because they can. So it was a very interesting time for me because I had to learn how to ensure people heard me. But it's also that time when I realized, people are so quick to say, oh my gosh, she's aggressive, she's not assertive. And I'm like, I'm not being aggressive. You did exactly what I did. I just told you I don't like what you're doing. Or I probably called you out on something that all the other women have been leaving you to do and you thought it was okay. Now, it was also very jarring because at that time in the bank, it was about 60% Nigerian. Granted, when I went to uni, a lot of my friends are Nigerian, so I have no problem with it. I'm not very much, oh my gosh, you're from this country, you're from that country. I'm not. I don't care. I'm very Pan-Africanist. But they were very cliquey, which I'm not used to adults doing. Like, I last encountered that in high school. Now here I am about 10 years after high school and we're in cliques. I was like, really? Oh, it's a thing. And it was amongst the country. So you have the guys from Ghana not talking to the guys from Nigeria, the guys from Francophone Africa, like, no, we don't mess around with the Nigerians because you guys are just loud. And then you're like, have you heard yourselves? Like, y'all are the same, just different languages. Like, I feel. But then they're like, oh no, you're from Southern Africa. Oh my gosh, your food is so plain. Oh my gosh, this. And I'm like, okay, I'm not really much very specific about my country. I'm proud of my country, don't get me wrong. I rip Zim all day, every day. However, I'm very much of the, I want to learn about your country and I'll teach you about mine. Because I want to learn and integrate. I'm not that person who wants to assert my country as we're the best. No. Now, this is the work environment, right? Let's talk about Egypt itself. Now, when I first moved there, I was living in a place called New Cairo, which is like, if you're from Zim, that's like the Borodale brick of the city, right? If you're from Bots, it's like the Gulf Estate. Like, that's where all the rich people stay and whatever. This is a place the bank found for me. And I was like, okay, this is too bougie for me. I can't do anything by myself. I can't be independent. I need a driver. I ain't making that kind of money. I'm an intern. However, after 3 months, I actually got a permanent job, which meant my contract was now 6 months, which meant I got perks and all this other benefits from working at the bank. However, because I'm that girl, I decided to move out of the place the bank had found me, and I moved in with one of my friends who's now like family to me, and we moved into another area where a lot of the bank people stay, but it was much more friendlier and allowed me to be independent and move around by myself, which is Mahdi. Now Mahdi is like proper heart of the city for, well, the foreign side of the city, so at least I was comfortable. There's a lot of foreigners around. I could move around. People spoke English and it wasn't too difficult. But, right, anyone who lives in Cairo will tell you this. Tourist Egypt is beautiful. It's stunning. You'll see places like Ain Sokhna, Alexandria, Sharm el Sheikh. They're beautiful. Everyday Cairo, it's dirty. Like, I know the place is a desert, right? But it's the first time I experienced a sandstorm, which is hell, because it's just sand and it hurts. It just causes a mess. Even if your windows are closed, it'll still be dusty and just a mess. And the people are rude and racist. Like, I've heard about racism and I've experienced it here and there, but in Cairo is the first place where I think I actually became an introvert. Actually, no, they call it a recluse. Yes, a recluse. Because also in Cairo, they like convenience, so everything, including your groceries, can be delivered to you. So I got to the stage where I couldn't even leave my house to go do groceries because I'd get harassed on the street. And someone tried to whip me with a shambok because I was black, which blew my mind because I'm like, you're in Africa, there's so many black people. Only to discover the only black people they know are either students or prostitutes. Fun. I'm not even going to talk about the one time my dad visited. This man thought I was a prostitute. Woosa. But yes, they really truly believe the only black people who are able to live a proper life are Americans and British people. If you're not one of those, you have stolen money, or you're a crook or something. Like, you're not genuine, basically. So it was horrible. So literally I didn't go anywhere unless I was with my friends from work or my roommate Oyinda. She had been living in Cairo for much longer than I have, so she basically gave me the 411 of the places to go and not to go. Even there, it's the first place that I owned pepper spray on my keys. Still have it now. And it was only whilst I was there that I discovered Egypt was voted the number one country for being unsafe for women. Like, there's this one documentary, like one of the guys was filming there, and it was not a guy, it was these two girls from Cairo American University, where they take a walk across this bridge, right? I forgot the name of the bridge. If I find it before I post this, I'll put it somewhere here. Literally, for you to walk across that bridge, as a woman, it is the most dangerous thing because you're gonna get catcalls, you're gonna get your clothes ripped apart if they're feeling extra that day, or you're just gonna get accosted by any and every man possible. And the worst thing is, it's not even about whether you're white or black or Asian, nothing. It's just that you're female. And you don't even have to be dressed in a certain way. You can be wearing the full-on hijab and everything, and they'll still harass you. So it's just one of those things where it became a nightmare for me because I don't like attention. Like, anyone who knows me, I am very much incognito. I'm always in a hoodie, a cap, or whatever. Now, this is Egypt, where it's like 40 degrees on a good day. I can't wear a hoodie in that heat, or else I'm gonna die. Literally die. So I can't go out dressed like this, because if I go out dressed like this, every 10 meters or so someone's gonna be calling you, oh hey, Chocolata, Serena. Also, they pick the most random names. If you're not Beyonce, you're Serena. Those are the only two black people they know. I was like, I ain't yellow enough to be Beyonce. Neither do I have, what is that? Neither do I have the body structure. So, thanks, I think. Serena, I wish I had that body. Wow, but really? Those are the only black people, you know? But yes. So that was just one of the downsides that I really didn't like about being there. And of course, they're Arabs, so they don't do alcohol. It's not like I drink every day, but it was just one of those very weird things to know that you can't go to the supermarket and buy a wine or whatever. You had to go to the duty free. It was just a mission to get your bottle of wine, whatever. So it ended up being every time someone travels at work, they bring you like 2 or 3 bottles of alcohol, whatever, to just stock your bar. But weirdly enough, the job got so stressful that by the time I came back home, I was now a functional alcoholic, because I was always indoors drinking or sleeping or working. Those were the only options for me, because it was just, we'll go through these cycles at work where if you're doing a transaction, it can be go, and I'm at work until like 3 a.m. in the morning, but I have to be back at work by 7, 8, which means, I have to take some shot or something for me to be awake. So it was always, I now have Baileys in my coffee in the morning so that I can wake up, or it's an espresso. So if it's not coffee jarring me, it's alcohol just waking me up. So it was a lot, but the experience itself was something I'll never trade for anything, because I learned a lot about myself and what I can tolerate and what I'll not tolerate in a professional environment. In my personal environment, I learned how to network effectively, because wow, men give each other like opportunities like it's nothing, guys. Like, I wish women did more of what men do, if that makes sense. Like, in the business world, it seems like so many of them are caught up with bringing each other down than bringing each other up. So it was a very interesting adage to look at, because you could see the men giving each other, calling each other with business opportunities, all that, and transactions and deals. The women, on the other hand, were trying so hard to show that they can do it, or so hard to be seen that they don't care about each other. And you'd be like, is this really how it works? Like, I have to be this person? Like, my colleagues won't like me? So it made me really think about corporate and just working life, and how I want to be as a person, and how I want to be considered by my peers, because wow, I'd never experienced that. Like, I've worked in corporate before, but I'd never experienced that. So it was very interesting. I've built up a great network because of that job. Even now, they still help me get jobs. I've made some great friends, lifelong friends there. And I traveled to places I never would have expected to, and met people I would never expected to. So I would highly recommend you taking a job that you never thought you would do in another country completely. Just not don't go to Egypt. I'm joking. Yeah, no, do research the country before you go so you're prepared, because I think because I didn't know about that side of Egypt, I was not prepared for it. Actually, no, who's ever prepared for racism? But you get what I mean. Explore. I genuinely always recommend anyone explore, especially when you're younger, because I think it's much easier when you're by yourself, because you're not worrying about where my kid's gonna sleep, or that. It's just you're worrying about. So it was a great experience. However, I won't do it again. No. I'll do it in another country. Same company, but another country. Yes, definitely. Just not Cairo. Because I think, that was just a bit too jarring for me. Also because I'm not Muslim. It didn't make it any easier because I'm not used to the Muslim way of life. It can be overwhelming when you're immersed in it. When you have a choice to do your own thing, it's a bit easier. But when you're fully immersed in it, it's a lot. But yeah, I'm going to put up some images of the cool travel trips and stuff that I went on whilst I was in Egypt, and I'll see. I have a picture of the house that I lived in, I think. Maybe not, because safety reasons, actually, yeah. But yeah, I'll show you different places that I went to, some of the friends I made before and after. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this story time, and I'll see you in the next one. Don't forget to subscribe, please. Become part of the family so you can hear more of these quirky and interesting stories. And I'll see you guys in the next video.